Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. It is the most beautiful day here in the UK today. I am in my plant room, sat on my pregnancy ball. If it sounds a little bit creaky, that is why. And we are actually approaching a heat wave this weekend, which is, God, going to be a lot for my plants and for me, because I am very large at the moment and pretty uncomfortable. Hence why this video is coming to you a little bit late, and hence why this video is going to be a little bit of a mishmash of everything. There have been so many videos that I've wanted to make recently and updates that I've wanted to give you and things that usually I would whip out my camera and I'd film and I'd talk you through. And I just haven't had the energy to do that at the moment. So I thought instead I would kind of just cram it all into one video. We could chat through everything. I could show you a ton of stuff. I will tell you the categories. So I've got new plants, things that I have acquired recently, be that at Malvern. I'll talk you through all of that as we go. I will also show you and talk you through some of the ways that I'm keeping my plant care low maintenance at the moment, because since I lost a load of plants in my first trimester, I actually haven't downsized at all, I don't think. And I have actually brought a few new things into my collection, and I found a way currently to make things pretty manageable. So yeah, I'll take you through all of that and what's working and what I've tried and maybe what hasn't worked quite so well, and show you my system currently. Then pests and plant care, because I have changed a little bit of, I've just tweaked a few things here and there in my approach to pests. We are obviously coming into a very warm season and pests are everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere, and I'm just coming at things with a slightly different approach. And then I wanted to take you through some updates, and for the first time in what feels like ages, most of these are positive updates. I feel like I've kind of managed to get back on top of quite a lot of stuff recently, which is a wonderful feeling, and I've got some really exciting things happening with my plants, and I feel like I haven't spoken to you about this stuff in so long. So yeah, I can take you through some fun updates. And then the final category is called What's Happening. I've just got a few things that are baffling me and a few things that are going a bit wrong. And again, I thought we could just chat through that and just have a general catch up. So yeah, that is the plan for today. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name's Claire and this is Yoli. I make videos all about houseplant care, sharing tips and tricks I've learnt over the years to help keep your plants happy and healthy. And yeah, as I say, this video is very much just going to be kind of a mishmash of everything. But I hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it. So there have been a lot of changes going on here recently. We have been just desperately trying to get so much sorted in case our babies decide to make an early appearance. Some of you are asking when I was due. I'm not actually due until August, but apparently it's very, very common for twins to come early. So yeah, we're just kind of prepping for the fact that they might be here in July, which is bonkers, or at any point really, but hopefully no earlier than July. So yes, there's been lots of changes I've had to make to how I approach life with a very big collection. And also there's just been a million and one things to do around the house in order to prepare for the babies. So it's been busy. It's been busy. But I also went to RHS Malvern. I know I said I was going to vlog that. I just didn't have the energy. I really didn't. I fully intended to. Usually I vlog Malvern and I absolutely love it, but I just kind of went and I took a few clips here and there, so I'll pop them on the screen, but I was just more there as a distant observer, let's say, this year. I did a Patreon meetup with some of you guys when I was there, and that was the highlight of the weekend for me. I absolutely loved it. It was so lovely to meet some of you for the first time and re-meet some of you again. And I did come away with a few plants, and we will get onto them in a minute because I've got some beautiful things to show you. But then I also went to RHS Chelsea for the first time ever on Monday, should I say. I went for press day, which was very fancy. I have never been to Chelsea before and I managed to get a press day pass, so that was a lot of fun. But again, I just think I'm at the point now where I can't really enjoy things in the way that I might do normally. So I had a nice time, but I just spent most of the day feeling very uncomfortable, which I know is not great. So I'm hoping I'll be able to go to both those things again next year and properly enjoy them. I didn't actually buy anything when I was at Chelsea, which I think is pretty impressive. But as I say, when I was at Malvern, I did come away with a few little things. I didn't actually buy anything, which I feel like, again, is a pretty big achievement for me. There have been years where I've come back from Malvern and I've come back with like 25 new plants and fun new things and whatnot. And very kindly, everything that I came away with this year was gifted to me, which is so lovely. And I'll show you the first two plants first, which were gifted to me by Emma from Em's Plant House. She is absolutely fantastic. She also does loads of like live sales on TikTok and stuff like that. I've met her a few years in a row now. And the first plant she gifted me was a plant that has been back on my wish list because I lost it. Again, I lost it in my first trimester. And it is a Peperomia Hope. I'm so happy to have this plant back because this is one of my favourite plants ever. I have missed this plant so much. And it's granted a lot smaller than my other Peperomia Hope was, but it feels quite nice to be starting again. Now I feel like I'm in a better physical and mental headspace to be able to actually give my plants energy again. I also think the good thing about the Peperomia Hope is not just that it's a beautiful plant, but it's also a very low maintenance plant, and anything really that I bring into my collection at the moment, I need to be low maintenance, or at least not a super demanding high maintenance plant, just because obviously my life is about to get insanely busy to a level that I can't even fully comprehend right now. So everything needs to fit into that kind of bracket for me. But no, I feel so happy to have a Peperomia Hope back in my collection. It's one of these plants that I don't know, my collection just didn't quite feel complete without it. So yeah, I'm so excited to grow it again, and hopefully it will do as well as the last one, because the last one I cherished so much and I still feel very sad to have lost. But that was the first plant from Em's Plant House. And the second one, this is, I mean, I was equally as excited about the Peperomia Hope just because I love the Peperomia Hope. But for those of you that don't have the affection perhaps that I do for the Peperomia Hope, I feel like your minds are going to be blown by this. It is an Anthurium hybrid, and it's a Anthurium Michelle, which is one of the plants that's on my wish list anyway. It's an Anthurium Michelle Cross Silver Blush, and that is a hybrid that I have never seen before. The Michelle is still relatively new to the plant world, to particularly the UK market. You're only just starting to see Michelles become a little bit more accessible over here in the UK. And with that, there are some stunning hybrids. But yeah, it had this new leaf when I first picked it up, and actually that leaf has kind of hardened off and gone quite green again now. But in classic Michelle fashion, it was very pinky when I first got it. And in fact, if you just have a look at like the back of the leaf and the stems, you can see there's a lot of pinkiness there as well. And I actually don't know what this is going to look like as it grows and matures, because obviously the silver blush, its veination often almost kind of blurs together and the leaf becomes super silver, and the Michelle can almost look black sometimes. So it's going to be really interesting to see the characteristics of this plant as it grows and evolves in my care. I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited to grow it. And yeah, it just feels like a really cool one to have added to my collection. So if you're watching, Emma, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so kind of you. And yeah, I'm super excited. This is fun because I feel like this is the first time in a while that I've actually been genuinely really excited by my plants again and wanted to bring new things into my collection, because I've just spent such a long time feeling like everything has really got on top of me. And yeah, it just, I don't know, it feels like I've got a little part of myself back, which is wonderful. And I know as well that some of you have said that, or implied that I'm being quite naive in my approach about still being able to maintain a big collection when I've got 2 newborns. I understand it's not going to be easy. I fully get that, and I don't expect it to be. However, I really do want to try and maintain my plants. Like, if I feel like they're overwhelming me, that's a different situation, and I will downsize. But my plant care is something that is, oh, my voice is going, is such a big part of me and who I am, and it gives me so much in so many ways. And I think it is almost more important to hang on to that when I've got a lot of other stuff going on, you know? So I'm not going to feel bad about bringing new things into my collection. And on that note, I also got a couple of, in fact, this isn't even all of them, but I got some beautiful epipremnums. And again, these were very kindly given to me by Craig on my Patreon. Again, Craig, if you're watching, thank you so much. I love them, absolutely love them. This one here, this is an Epipremnum pinnatum marble. Just look at that leaf. Isn't that gorgeous? And then this one is an Epipremnum amplissimum silver streak. I stuck the little labels he put on them on there. And this one is, again, so beautiful. And this guy, Craig, on my Patreon has the most incredible Epipremnum collection. He also gave me some lovely Mandula pothos cuttings, which I'm going to plant in with my mother plants. But he told me when we were at Morven that he's actually, in fact, it might have even happened now, but he was being assessed for national collection status because he's got so many incredible types of Epipremnum, which I think is so cool. So yeah, I feel honoured to have a couple in my collection from his collection. And bless him, he did root them for me. They were fully rooted. They were in sphagnum moss. I could have kept them in sphagnum moss, but again, just in the name of making things low maintenance for my sake, I thought I would just pop them into water for now, because then I don't have to monitor them really at all for a little while. I don't need to worry about keeping moss hydrated, particularly as the weather gets warmer. So yeah, for now, they are just in a container of water. I will pot them up at some point. And I think I will probably go semi-hydro. That's the way that I've been keeping so many of my Epipremnum happy in a very low maintenance way. So I think that's probably the plan, but we'll see. I'm going to just leave them like this for the time being. They seem perfectly happy. So yeah, those are the things that I brought back from Morven, and I feel like it's a nice little haul. I'm super happy with what I came back with, and yeah, I also just feel very happy with things in my collection as a whole at the moment. So if we move on to the next category, which is keeping plant care low maintenance, I've spoken through some of these things in other videos before as well, but I kind of wanted to put them all together. The first thing that has been super useful for me is putting my plants into drainage trays, which has meant taking things out of their pretty pots. And oh my goodness, that really made me feel sad, because I have not only built up a lovely collection of plants over the last however many years, I've also revamped and decorated my own pots. I've brought pots back from here, there and everywhere, and I've got a really gorgeous collection of unusual houseplant accessories that feel very much like part of my collection as well, you know. But you know what? I haven't missed them as much as I thought I would. I think because I've kind of stripped everything back, and yes, everything is now in its kind of ugly nursery pots that are a bit plasticky and are not the prettiest thing to look at. But I think for that reason, my eye is really drawn to the foliage so much more than it was before. So if anything, there's kind of less distraction. And in fact, some of you have commented on it in my last couple of videos, and it's really nice to know that you think this as well. But you said that it doesn't feel like my space has actually changed that much, and I don't feel like it has either. So going forward, for the time being, I think I will stick with this way of growing. I've kept my plants in pretty pots in the rest of the house because that feels more decorative, but in here, this is my functional planty space right now. This is the space that I come in and spend time with my plants and I don't need to worry about like pretty pots and all that jazz. So yeah, the drainage trays and being able to put so many things into combined drainage trays has been so useful. I can do a full water of this space in here. Obviously not like a thorough like pest check watering, but I can do a full watering in here in about half an hour to 40 minutes now. And that is in my condition. I was going to say, I'll give you a... Ooh, dropped something on my belly actually. I'll give you a bump update. If you are offended by a pregnant belly, avert your gaze now. Oh, but actually doesn't even look that big on camera. This is where we're at, guys, currently. Oh, and they're very, very heavy. So yeah, it does just mean that I am trying to keep everything as easy as possible. So yeah, drainage trays have been wonderful. I will link the ones that I have used down below. There's thousands available on the market. You don't need to use the same ones that I've used, but I also quite like that the ones I've used are transparent because you kind of don't notice them as much. That was my biggest fear, that everything would start feeling very, very plasticky and less natural, and actually it hasn't to me. And bearing in mind I'm in the space all the time, I think that's pretty good. The other thing that has been really great is combined planting. I know I made my alocasia planter in a video not that long ago, and it's going really well. I just literally keep on top of one massive pot of alocasia now, and all of them are doing well. I have had some pest issues in my contained planter, mainly mealybugs. I will talk about that when we get onto the pest section. But apart from that, it has just been wonderful. I've got that little tap outlet on the side of that container, and so if I think I've overwatered, I can just let the excess drain off. But touch wood, so far I've had no kind of root issues. I've had no notable issues that have meant that I've needed to intervene in any way. There's also, I'll show you them again when we get to the next category, but there's some more things that I want to plant up in that planter, and adding to the planter has been quite easy. So yeah, I think it's a great way of growing, and I'm very tempted to potentially combine more of my plants in a similar way as time goes on. I've thought about doing maybe a big kind of shared anthurium planter or something like that. And yeah, I'm very happy with it. The other thing is keeping plants in bags like this. This is, in fact, another relatively new addition that I'm not sure if I've shown you on YouTube yet. I actually can't remember, so I'll show you the plant as well. But this one I got when I went to another plant swap, which was a good few months ago now. And this is a beautiful anthurium hybrid that was actually, this is actually very exciting because it was not only hybridized by Francesco, who's on my Patreon, but this may well be the first type of anthurium to exist like this, because it is a big bill cross black crystallinum. And to my knowledge, to his knowledge, he doesn't know of anyone that's been able to successfully do that before. So I feel so lucky to own this little one. But as I say, I'm growing it exactly as he gave it to me. It's just in perlite, in a little cup. And then by keeping it in this plastic bag, it just means that it's got ample humidity. I don't really need to worry about watering it. I've taken it out of its bag to check on it maybe 2-3 times since having it, and honestly that's just more because I'm excited to look at it and see how it's developing, and not because I actually need to do anything to it. So yeah, I am keeping lots of plants in lower maintenance ways like that. I will put it back in this bag after this. But yeah, also in the same vein, kind of like prop boxes and stuff like that. I am not propagating anything new, but high maintenance plants that need high levels of humidity, I'm just whacking them into like a little Tupperware box or like a big storage box that's transparent, and that's keeping the plant happy for me. So that is great. It's just great. It means that there's some things I don't need to get rid of that I would otherwise probably either have to put in a lot more time and energy for, or I would have to think about removing from my collection at this stage. I don't know why I've also put this on the low maintenance list. My knee pad that I'm using it all the time. If I'm down on the ground with my plants, getting up and down is very, very difficult. So I've been kind of rolling around the room on my ball. And then if I do need to kneel down, I will kneel on my knee pads. It's great. It really makes my life so much easier. Oh, keeping more plants in one space. So I've touched on this before. I've often said that and I think this might just be a partly me thing, partly ADHD thing, but I do find it quite difficult to monitor lots of spaces that need things doing to them. So for example, if I have plants in the bedroom and I have plants down here, I will often put off one of the spaces, particularly a space such as the bedroom that I don't see a lot of the time. So, bar a few things here and there, for example, like my bathroom plants that I can water very easily with water from the shower, I have moved pretty much all of my plants to downstairs. I've got a few in my living room, not as many as I had before, but I've still got a few in my living room, probably like 10 or something like that. I've got the windowsill in the kitchen, and then I've got my plant room, and this is where the majority of my collection is now. And I have found that just has made my life so much easier. Like being able to see everything in one space gives me an idea of what I need to stay on top of, and not having to go, oh my God, I forgot about that one, or anything like that. So yeah, I plan on keeping that the same for the foreseeable future, really. And the other thing that I will get at some point, and I think I'm just being indecisive about which one to get. So if you guys have got one yourself, let me know what you've got. But you can get these almost like jet pump water, I guess you'd call them kind of like hose extenders that you use to water your plants instead of using a watering can. And I would like to get an electric one that means I don't have to kind of pump it all the time, because again, I get so out of breath very easily. And again, the benefit of that is just not having to fill up a watering can every 5 minutes, because I will mix in my fertiliser, I will top up my watering can, I'll come through here and I will water a few plants, and then I'm like, okay, back to the kitchen, off I go again. So being able to do something like that would be wonderful. So any solutions you guys have for that work, please let me know. And then when we come on to pests, as I say, I have changed a little bit of what I've done in my approach. I'm still using biological pest control on the whole. I'm using this for thrip prevention and spider mite prevention, as well as treating. I've been, I was going to say pretty good about putting all the sachets out each month because I get them on subscription. Actually, my last batch I haven't put out, and they arrived probably 5 days ago now. I have opened the bag so they can kind of roam free, but I haven't spread them around my plant room yet. Again, because I think I'm going to need a hand with that. But the one thing that I have significantly changed is because I've been dealing with mealybugs for such a long time now, and there's been a few plants, like for example, my bird of paradise, my Hoya australis lisa, the combined alocasia planter. There's been a few plants that have just been riddled with mealybugs. I've tried the natural ways. I've tried wiping down. I've tried, obviously isopropyl alcohol does work, but you need to be so on top of it and so consistent with it if you've got an infestation. I tried releasing ladybird larvae. Personally, didn't have the best luck with that. So I have gone in with the tough stuff. Some of you guys suggested using bonide systemic houseplant granules. These are not what I would love to be using in an ideal world. I do like to keep everything as natural as I possibly can. Also, it's important to say this is probably not for plants that you use outside, because it will affect things like bees and insects and the good things that we don't want to die. So yeah, I'm just using it on specific plants. And I'm obviously not then going and putting biological pest control onto those plants as well, because then the biological pest control would just die. But it's been, I think, about 4 weeks since I did it for the first time, and I would say the mealybugs haven't got any worse. I think what I need to do now is probably go in with a damp cloth and just give all of those plants a wipe over, or get them in the shower and give them a spritz down and see where we're at, see how many come back, and assess whether or not I need to do another treatment. But yeah, I just got these on eBay here in the UK. Like, I haven't seen anywhere that sells them out and about. I hope to not have to use them for ages, just keep out of reach of children. I know they're very toxic, as they also are to pets, so it's important to just make sure you're doing all of this away from anyone vulnerable, and to wash your hands as well. I've in fact gone as far as to put a mask on when I'm doing it, just in case I breathe anything in. Yeah, I know I can often cut corners with things like that, but particularly at the moment, I'm being so vigilant with things. So yes, that's where I'm up to with pest stuff. On the whole, I'm seeing the odd thrip here and there, but I haven't had any other outbreaks recently, I would say. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I have felt like I've been able to get much more on top of my plant care recently, which has been so great. I would have loved to have been able to kind of do more documenting of getting on top of it, but I think the thing is, obviously today I'm kind of doing a bit of a talking head video. I'm sitting here and I'm chatting to you, and then I'll put clips over the top, and that's quite good because I don't get out of breath in the same way doing that. But some of the things that I've tried to film recently, even just like repot and chats, I'll be doing something and I'll be getting soil, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, I'm just knackered. So yeah, I've been doing lots off camera at a snail's pace, but it's been going pretty well and things are looking pretty healthy. With obviously the hot weather and the longer days and the sun and all that sort of stuff, I'm having to do much more watering, and I'm preparing for this weekend to be pretty crazy with the watering can. That's just one of these things. It happens. As I say, we are heading into summer and it's meant to be quite a hot summer, so even more kudos to the systems like combined planting and drainage trays and the things that are making my life easier. I'm going to just continue to do more of them. But there are obviously still some things that aren't great, but I wanted to just give you a few positive updates with my plants as well, because I feel like I just haven't been that positive about things, understandably, but I haven't been that positive about things recently. And the first one is my giant Thai constellation. Absolutely love this plant. I know I probably can't grow it in this spot forever because it's so ridiculously big. It was comically big when I first got it, but it's, I think, put out maybe 3 or 4 leaves in the time that I've had it, and it is currently putting out another one, and I'm so happy. Like, I think just because the Thai constellation is a type of plant that previously in the past, over the years, I have really struggled with, I was hoping that this one would be one that I'd get on better with, and it seems so. It seems that it's doing really well. So yeah, I love the look of it there. I love that it's growing so well, and long may that last. And the next one I've actually just grabbed from behind me. It is my Hoya carnosa, and this is one that I was so concerned about because it's a plant with a really special story. It's come from one of my friend's granddads, and it grew beautifully for me. It was arguably, I would say, one of my hardiest plants. And again, when I was so unwell over my first few months of pregnancy, I just didn't water it at all. I think a lot of my hardy plants were the ones that actually almost took more of a hit because I thought I could get away with not watering them as much. And I think this one probably went 3 months without a water. And when I replanted it, I did it in fact in a repot and chat video with you guys. But when I replanted it, all of the leaves were like paper thin. They were like, oh, I honestly did think they would probably just rot, and I thought the plant was a goner. But it has bounced back really, really well, and it's now giving me beautiful new leaves as well, which makes me so happy. And one of the coolest leaves it's given me, and I'm sure this is just a fluke, but look at that leaf there. It's almost got like a little fishtail to it. You look at the back as well. It's just grown so beautifully. It's like a little double leaf. Oh my God, it's a twin leaf. Oh, it's a twin leaf. Oh, that makes me quite emotional, as everything does at the moment. Oh, that's so lovely. Yeah, it's it's such a special plant. I really love it. I'm so happy that it isn't a goner. There were a few actually that as I was throwing them away when I was just being very brutal and thinking, okay, the clear out just needs to happen now. I just need to get things gone so that I can focus on the stuff that is savable. There were a few things that I realised that I didn't love as much as I thought I did. Maybe I wasn't as sad about them. And yeah, it's kind of, having had that bit of a clear out made me realise what I want to bring back into my collection and what I actually don't miss that much at all. And I would have been very sad had I lost this plant. Oh my goodness, I love the little twin leaf. I'm going to cherish that now. But yeah, however, the only thing with this plant, as with lots of my other Hoyas / lots of my other plants, this one also is a mealybug magnet. And although it's not riddled, I am finding the odd one or two on it here and there. A lot of them very small mealybugs, which are so difficult to spot, but they spread so quickly. So I'm just having to keep a very close eye on it and hope that it continues to do as well. I'll keep you updated, but yeah, very happy. Oh, and another one that I brought over to show you is some of my corms, my little Allocation Ninja corms that I put in to this jar have sprouted, which is really fun because I lost so many corms. I lost a load of Allocation Frydek corms. I very sadly lost my variegated Sarian corm, which I was beyond excited about. But these ones have done really, really well. And so yeah, I plan on putting these into the combined planter with all of my other Alocasia once I get the mealybug issues sorted in that planter. It's weird actually, you know, the mealybugs in the Alocasia planter look different to a lot of other mealybugs I've seen. And I don't know if anyone can tell me what the definitive answer is for this. I'm guessing maybe like one's male, one's female. Maybe they are just different breeds. But the mealybugs on these ones, they've got like, I don't know, I can see their, I want to say almost like tentacles more, feelers. Like, I'll see if I can find a clip and put it on the screen. But they just appear different to a lot of other mealybugs. And I don't know why that is. So yeah, I won't be potting the corms up until I've dealt with that issue, but I have also thrown a load of systemics into that planter, so hopefully the issue will be gone soon. But then the next one that's on this list that I will have to put a clip of on the screen, it's freaking huge now, is my Musa Florida. And this is one that I have struggled with over the years. It had a very rocky start in my collection. I got it, I think about 2 years ago, just before Christmas. And it was a teeny tiny little plant that had bad roots and lost all its foliage, and I had to really rehab. And now I'm actually wondering where it's going to go because it's getting so ginormous that I can see it outgrowing this space very quickly. And actually, I know I talk about where will I put big plants next because this is the lightest room in the house. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen that we have had an outhouse built. This is just in the name of space saving and creating somewhere for Ross to work and all that jazz. But the outhouse does have pretty fantastic light, so I see potential for creating, thank you Yoli, a planty space in there further down the line. So maybe that's where it'll go. I don't know. But yeah, it's beautiful. And then another one that I am so happy is doing well now. And in fact, I can probably turn the camera so you can see, look at that leaf. And in fact, you guys, look at the size of that leaf compared to my hand. It's just bonkers. This is my Anthurium Regal Magnificum hybrid. And this one was doing really well for a really long, well, that's a complete lie, actually. It was not doing really well for a really long time. It was doing okay. However, all of the leaves were starting to look a little bit more like this one. I don't know if you can tell because it's in the sunshine, but like a bit crispy around the edges and not very happy. I couldn't work out quite why that was happening. And then, about maybe 6 months ago, I introduced a Calmag fertiliser on top of the liquid gold leaf that I was already using. And then it started giving me really beautiful leaves and I was like, it was obviously just a little bit deficient. So that worked really well, but don't ask me why I did this because it's a bad idea and I wouldn't recommend anyone to do it. But I was growing that plant purely in sphagnum moss, which in itself is not a bad thing. But I was also growing it in terracotta. And obviously terracotta is a porous material that just like sucks moisture from the substrate. So I was having to water that plant, oh my God, like all the time in order to keep it happy. And when I wasn't doing any plant care, that one went downhill. Hence why this leaf does look so crispy and sad. But lovely Emma, good growing, plant hero of my life right now, came over not that long ago and helped me with some of my big repots, that being one of them. We did make a video of that on my channel as well, so I will link that below if you want to go watch that. But yes, since we potted it up in just a really nice chunky soil mix, and it's been getting so much more hydration, it's in a drainage tray. For me, it has been a very low maintenance plant, but also that leaf just goes to show that it's loving life like that. So I'm really happy it's doing so well. Oh my goodness, it's just gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous, because I've never had much luck with the Regal, just plain Regal, not hybridized. I've always found that quite tricky, and this one really gives me my Regal fix, particularly actually the form of this new leaf. It's just incredible. It's got that beautiful Regal kind of lobing to it. So yeah, it's making me so happy, and it's making me feel like I'm achieving things, which is nice, because when your plants are looking awful, it's such a reflection both ways of like your mental health, isn't it? Because I know I always say that plant care has been amazing for my mental health. I'm sure we can all appreciate that, because it's just fantastic. Bonding with nature and doing things and watching things grow is just healing and lovely. But when things start going downhill, either with your mental health and then you see it in your plants, that cycle kind of makes things worse, but also with your plants and then it reflects more on you. It's just horrible. And I sat in that for months when I wasn't feeling well, and yeah, it feels really nice to actually be starting to kind of come out the other side of that and just finding joy in it again. I've spoken about burnout so much on my channel over the years in different ways, in different forms, with like anxiety, not all pregnancy related. And yeah, I know that there's different times where different things might feel right for that. Like sometimes taking a complete step away, downsizing your collection, or even getting rid of your plants for a while and starting again at a later point, that might be the right thing for you. There really is no definitive right or wrong answer. But this time around, for me, what has worked is, yeah, putting measures in place to make things easier for myself and come back at it with a fresh pair of eyes when I've also killed like 45 plants in between. So yeah. Then my Mandula pothos. Again, I know I said I got some lovely cuttings of that again from Craig at Malvern, and I'm going to pot them in with the mother plant. My Mandula pothos, I have moved to my living room and I have trains to go across the window, just because, firstly, I love my Mandula pothos so much. It is one of my favourite plants, and I think because it's not necessarily the one that people think of as the most exciting plant, it isn't the quickest to grow, it doesn't do like crazy things. I don't talk about it that much, but it is one that I cherish and love. And in fact got as cuttings from, I believe, Alex at another plant swap years ago, like maybe the first plant swap I went to. And I have put it on the top shelf of the shelves in my living room where my Philodendron Dean McDowell was previously. And my Philodendron Dean McDowell is no longer in my collection. That is a plant that I did decide to get rid of, just because I don't feel like I was ever properly getting the best out of it growing in that spot. I felt like it was just more of a chore caring for that plant, and I wasn't able to appreciate it. It's just one that honestly I didn't enjoy growing in this house. I loved it in my flat, but I didn't enjoy growing it in this house. So I chopped all of the foliage off and I sent out some chunks as like wet sticks to various people, mainly Facebook. Some people came and collected things. And I don't miss it. I was a bit like, oh, am I going to miss this plant? But I don't miss it. So yeah, firstly, the Mandula pothos has filled that spot and it's given me the satisfaction of foliage coming from that area. But also, because I'm letting it kind of hang down in the middle, it's meant that I don't need to keep a hanging plant. I don't have to keep a hanging plant in that window anymore because I liked having a hanging plant there. But this is one plant that kind of does the job of two and I prefer and is easier. So yeah, it's doing really well in that spot and I love it. So yes, that's that one. Oh, and I want to, again, get this next one and show you it because, mealybugs. Apart from mealybugs, it is doing really well. This is another one that I thought I might have lost and it is my Drimonia cherrybagana, one of my favourite plants, one that I feel so honoured to be able to grow because I know it's quite an unusual plant. I really thought this one was a goner. I really did, because the only way I have ever consistently found to grow this plant happily is growing it in sphagnum moss, like pure sphagnum moss. But again, like I've said many times in this video, sphagnum moss does just dry out super quickly. And so again, when I was in my first trimester, it just turned to twigs and the whole plant needed chopping up and I didn't know if it was going to bounce back. And amazingly, it has. So it's actually quite a resilient little plant. However, I have just seen, as I keep seeing on loads of my plants at the moment, I have just seen a few really small mealybugs. And sometimes I'm trying to find one to show you. Yeah, like sometimes they are so small that you might not even be able to tell that it's a mealybug. Like there's a couple on this leaf here. Don't even know if the camera is picking that up, but the two tiny white dots are mealybugs. And yeah, because it is quite a succulent plant, it is super susceptible to mealybugs. So I might need to give this one a treatment as well. But it's back. So yeah, although yeah, the mealybugs are just a consistent pain in the butt throughout my collection. Pain in the butt sounds weird, a UK person saying that, doesn't it? Try to keep my channel PG for people that are watching that might not be adults. But yeah, it's really doing my head in at the moment. Yeah, one thing at a time though. I just feel happy that I've actually got the plant back and we can deal with the next issue next. But yeah, it is doing well. And then of course I must mention, this leaf actually is a little bit raggedy, but my Anthurium pallidiflorum, this is the plant that I was really concerned about and I didn't know whether it would bounce back because it was, all of its leaves got so curly and unhappy for such a long time. I was like, I don't know if this plant is too far gone, but it's arguably my favourite plant, like the best plant in my collection. And again, I think the real turning point for this one is, again, when Emma came round and helped me with some of my big repots, we got it out of terracotta and into like a storage box. So it's now being grown in no drainage. It's just got a layer of semi-hydro at the bottom, chunky soil mix on top, and it's working brilliantly for the plant. And it also means that I don't need to water it that often because it's like an enclosed growing container. So it's made my life easier, it's made the plant happier, it's going to allow me to grow this plant in this space, I think probably for even longer because, yeah, I'm just not going to need to repot it and I'm not going to need to faff with it as much. So I wish I'd done it sooner. And yeah, I plan on continuing to pollinate this plant. I would really like to try doing some hybridizing of this plant as the summer months kick in. It is currently giving me a new leaf, which is super exciting. I hope that's the start of lots more. I might potentially have a little bit of a vanity lot back at some point and get rid of some of the really raggedy bits on the leaves if I've got more beautiful ones to replace them. We'll see. That's not essential, I know. But then the last one on the positive updates list I've got is my Ardisia. Again, I'm going to have to get it. My Ardisia gigantifolia. And again, the last time I showed you this plant, I'm pretty sure I thought this was a goner. And I was really worried that this plant just wasn't going to bounce back. And what do you know? Oh, sorry, I've just got cramp in my hip. I think it's because I turned too quickly. Ow. Okay. Yes, what do you know? The plant is back and it's happy and it's just looking amazing. And you know what? It's giving me better growth than it was before all of this. So sometimes it's not such a bad thing, I think, that your plants go downhill, because then it gives you more of an appreciation when they do bounce back or you get better growth from them. I do think this one being so close to my grow bar there, I've got my mother grow lights in that shelf, I think that's definitely helping. It's obviously quite a highlight plant. So if I do transition it out from the shelves to somewhere else in this space, I think it will probably have to be like a windowsill or somewhere else under a grow light. But yeah, I love it. It's beautiful. I know I always say it, but it's really got Labicia vibes. It's just so lovely. So yeah, I'm so happy that I've been able to get this one back. And then if I could just pick your brains, finally, this is the Rhaphidophora puberula variegata that I got the last time I went to Wisley. It's really gorgeous. Again, it's very drippy because I watered it last night. It's got great roots coming out of the bottom as well. I went for this one because I thought, so I don't want to have any more crawling plants in my collection for the time being, just purely because I don't have the space and I don't want any more crawlers. I googled this one and I was like, if this is a climber, I'm going to get it. And lo and behold, it is a climbing plant. So I'm really, really happy with it. However, the only growth it's given me since I've brought it home have been these 3 leaves here, which have been highly, highly variegated, and they're getting smaller. And I'm like, I understand that obviously if the plant doesn't have much chlorophyll in the leaves, then maybe it's not able to produce larger growth. But why is this happening? Why is this happening? Because it had such a beautiful balance on all of the leaves before, and I feel like it's just sod's law that all of a sudden it's gone, nope. So my question to you guys is, if this was your plant, would you let that section just keep growing and see what happens? Or would you lop it right back and try and conserve some of that lovely balance in the hope that you could get some bigger leaves? Because I want to aim for big leaves with this plant, ideally. I think the variegation is really nice, but we don't want things that are that variegated. That's just never going to make it, is it? So yeah, let me know your thoughts, why you think it might be happening, what you would do, and I will do it. Because I'm being very indecisive with it at the moment. I've been looking at it for like a month now and I'm like, what do? I can't make up my mind. But yeah, that's everything I had on my list. The only other thing that I keep getting sporadic questions on, and I haven't answered because I honestly don't know the answer myself yet, is some of you have been saying, how the heck am I going to child-proof my collection? Obviously, I would say probably 80-90% of the plants in my collection are toxic. I've got some very spiky plants. I've got some plants with kind of little spinnules and all sorts of things that you wouldn't want children in. And I've had so many thoughts on this. Obviously, they're not going to come out walking, so I've got a little bit of time to consider what might be the right and wrong thing to do. But I think the bottom line right now, the bottom line within the next year, what I'm probably going to have to do is find some sort of like massive child gate or like pop-up sliding doors or something to this space so that I'm able to keep this space, my planty space, but stop children from getting in it, basically. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. And then all the plants in the rest of the house that might be grabbable, I'm just going to have to make sure that they are non-toxic and are not heavy enough to be pulled onto a child. There are all these things to think about. Honestly, you know what? I'm going to just figure it out as I go. I haven't extensively thought about it, but I'm not going to be, unless I had a space that I wasn't able to adapt with, I'm not going to be getting rid of all of the plants that I love purely for the fact they're not child friendly. I'm just going to put some measures and precautions in place. And I'll let you know when that time comes. because right now, not sure. But yes, if you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. It's been a waffly one, I know. It's just been really nice to be able to actually chat through planty things with you guys again, because I am not getting the chance to do it as often as I would like to at the moment. Do let me know what's going on with your plants as well. I know I can be truly god-awful at getting back to all the comments, but I do read all of your comments and I love reading them so much as well. So please do comment down below. Let me know how your plants are doing. Have you got any new additions? Yeah, what's going on? What's the drama? And yes, I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. If you're in the UK, whack that sun cream on and get your watering can out. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.
Stay sexy, plant lovers.